This is about foreigners ruining Japan. And I want to change that to maybe it's even specifically YouTubers ruining Japan. Because I bet you in this video, they're going to have video of these foreigners doing stuff, and who records with video? YouTubers, right? And maybe streamers. Maybe we'll be able to identify a couple in this video. Oh no. Let's find out. But here we go.
Riding a bullet train without paying, breaking into an active construction site, begging locals for money, stealing food from a Kyoto hotel, or breaking into a truck. What do you...
Bro, they just went down a list and checked all the boxes. They're like, okay, what can we do in this country? Oh, the populace doesn't have, majority have guns. Okay, what weapons do they have? Oh, like nothing. All right, let's just go around and commit as many crimes as possible. It's a peace country. The country has a majority peace. Okay, let's rob, let's steal. I'm surprised you didn't say anyone got killed. Well, maybe.
What do you want to do when you come to Japan? There seems to be a worrying trend now where foreign influencers are treating Japan like it's a cross between Disneyland and The Purge, a theme park where rules don't matter and you can pretty much get away
freaking
with
streamers,
anything.
man.
In a world where all that matters now is click-through rates on YouTube videos or audience retention on a kick stream, desperate creators are going to desperate lengths to get the attention they sorely crave. And unfortunately, it seems what better place to exploit people's kind-hearted nature and goodwill for content than here in Japan. Nuisance foreign influencers have been in the public news quite a bit in Japan over the last few months. And with the release of a video just yesterday by YouTuber Phidias getting thrown off a Shinkansen for not paying, amongst other things.
What these video creators are doing is they just weigh in their head. They're like, okay, what are the pros, what are the cons to me doing this? Pros, I get views, I get money, I get fame. And what are the repercussions? They'll slap me on the wrist, tell me not to do that again. Or I could just play the I'm an idiot foreigner card. That's about it. But if you did this shit in any other country, bro, you get the shit beat out of you. You can't do that.
The topic looks set to make a very unwelcome comeback this week. So in this video, we'll take a look at who these dickheads are and what's been going on, as well as exploring how this has been playing out in Japan amongst both the public and the Japanese
one of them
government,
gets socked
because
in the mouth.
It certainly hasn't gone
That'd be so
unnoticed.
satisfying.
And look, this isn't just a foreigner YouTube problem. Japan has its own fair share of domestic nuisance YouTubers, and it's taken some pretty bizarre measures to counter them as well, as we'll see.
So they
but
got
both
it
as
too.
a foreigner
Everyone
living in
has
Japan
it.
and as a YouTuber, naturally, I feel like this is something I need to talk about. Do I want to talk about it? No, I don't. As you know, I like talking about happy things. In fact, to produce this video, I had to completely scrap the fun pre-planned content that I had in store. But my policy on YouTubers and streamers doing shitty things has always been to ignore them, for fear of bringing them any more attention or notoriety. And I only do so today because in the case of the first bell end that we'll talk about, Johnny Somali, a kick streamer, he's already reached a high level of notoriety.
You know, I am streaming across YouTube, Kick, and Twitch, and I know he's not watching, I know he's not listening, but fuck you specifically.
After his recent arrest. And his story is important as it gives context to why people are so fed up that this has happened again. And by talking about the second person, who is a YouTuber, hopefully YouTube will take more aggressive action against creators that make shitty content like this. Also, if you're having a good day where you've got some sort of faith in humanity,
let's just take these people, we'll put them in a zoo, all in a cage, we'll stick a camera on them, and we won't give them anything except each other, and they're stuck in there for 48 hours. Let's make content out of them. If they like to make content out of everyone else and ruin their day, let's ruin their day too. Let's just ruin them.
might want to stop watching right now, as I've discovered learning about these fucking idiots really doesn't do you any favours. Back in September, kick streamer Johnny Somali was arrested after repeatedly causing mayhem around the country. Whether it was standing on a train with a loudspeaker harassing train passengers, wandering onto a construction site and being thrown off by mortified workers, or of course breaking into a truck for lunch. For 6 months.
I'm just gonna say, the way he's talking about this is he's directing most of the attention on the YouTubers and Twitch streamers. What about the viewers? It's part of their responsibility not to watch this filth.
Frustratingly, he pretty much got away with it all. Had Johnny Somali been in the UK, he would have discovered the definition of human punch bag very fucking fast. But unfortunately in Japan, people go about their lives keen to avoid conflict or disputes, especially given how rare it all is. And when people see outlandish, disrespectful behaviour, they're far less likely to confront it than they would in North America or Europe. And with the authorities seemingly inactive or oblivious to this toxic behaviour for the longest time, it got to the point where vigilante stream snipers were actively seeking him out, leading him to get knocked out by a foreign tourist in what might be his second greatest stream. And during this time I purposely avoided the topic because I just didn't want to bring attention to someone like this, you know. There's no such thing, they say, as bad publicity. Fortunately, turns out there is. Eventually, Japanese media caught on to Johnny Somali, and in what was undeniably his greatest stream. He captured his own demise in real time as the police arrested him and tossed him into a cell where he's been...
Let's just clap for that. Let's just clap for that. And we need to stick a camera in a cell, like I was saying.
For almost 2 months now. If formally charged with trespassing, he could spend up to 3 years in jail, but that's pretty unlikely, and we can only hope he does get to stream his inevitable deportation sometime in the near future. But the damage had already been done, with one of Japan's most powerful politicians speaking out publicly about nuisance streamers, casting a bit of a shadow over regular streamers and YouTubers operating in Japan.
One bad apple.
And that takes us to now. This week in the relay race of dickhead influencers in Japan, the baton of twattery went from Johnny Somali to Cypriot YouTuber Phidias when he released a video called I Travelled Across Japan for Free. A more accurate title would have been I Travelled Across Japan Without Fucking Paying, as Phidias rode across the country on a Shinkansen without
committing crimes,
buying a ticket, and then camping out in a public toilet while battling an unamused train conductor who later threw him off the train, as well as harassing locals for money along the way to pay for his bus fare. Although clearly it wasn't enough because he didn't pay the bus fare, and so the bus company took him to the police station to charge him. And if that wasn't enough, as an extra bonus, he also walked into a Kyoto hotel, pretended he was staying to the staff, and stole food from the breakfast.
Oh my god. Oh, this guy needs some jail time.
Buffet. What a man of class. A waste of time for everyone involved, all in the name of the world's shittest YouTube video. I don't know about you, but I don't actually want Phidias to get arrested for this. I want him to be free, so he can get to work on his sequel as soon as possible. I travelled Pyongyang for free. Boy, would I pay good money to see that in action. Now, right off the bat, Phidias doesn't have the best reputation.
Awesome.
In fact, if desperation had a physical manifestation, it would be him. After all, the guy once camped outside of Twitter's headquarters for 60 days just to get a hug with Elon Musk himself. In a scene so hideously awkward, you'll want to go back in time and kill the internet from ever happening. Perhaps this shouldn't be a complete surprise, given this is the same guy who faced a backlash last year for his questionable thumbnail choices. But in a matter of hours, the video had been picked up by netizens online and shared across Japan. In response to the outrage, Phidias did what...
So, his format, based off of that, is he's just looking to make content that's reactionary and ticks people off. It's a format. I mean, angry, rioting people and news media will pick up stuff maybe even quicker if you just make regular content that's relaxing or happy and doesn't upset anybody. But if you upset people, guess what? They'll bring out the pitchforks and fire, and then they'll share it and try to get other people angry to share that video, and then it just spreads and you get more views. That's what this guy's doing. Might be smarter than you think.
Shared across Japan. In response to the outrage, Phidias did what any good YouTuber would do. He wrote a shit apology. Hello, beautiful people. I apologise to the Japanese people if we made them feel bad. That was not our goal. From now on, I am going to make more research to the cultures we go to and try to prevent this from happening again. I love you all.
Okay, so ChatGPT could have done better. Oh my gosh. At least it's not a ukulele or anything. If you know what I'm talking about.
5 likes from 5 fucking idiots. I'm gonna make more research to the cultures. You know what? Maybe I'll swing by Malaysia. Maybe I'll steal a truck because maybe that's okay there. Maybe theft is okay. I don't know. I haven't researched the culture. Or maybe I'll swing by Vietnam and hijack a bus. I don't know. I haven't researched the culture. Maybe the concept of crime is absent in Asian countries. But clearly Phidias didn't research the culture of India because he did the exact same fucking thing there.
No way, dude. He probably has a map in his room with red pins, and he's trying to pin every country in the world and try to break a law in each one of those territories and countries. Like, he's going for a bingo.
Riding a train without paying.
Or a blackout, actually.
But what lies in store for Phidias? Well, if history tells us anything, it's that he should soon begin his narrative arc to becoming an amateur boxer. And who knows what kind of exciting content that we can expect next. Perhaps I piggybacked across Japan on 100 unwilling strangers. Or perhaps I tried robbing a Japanese 7-Eleven in a day. But there's a tipping point in Japan when something is featured on TV. That's when the outrage is sort of crystallised. And it's impressive how well everyone's forgotten Logan Paul's saga when he came to Japan for the ultimate dickhead speedrun, causing chaos on the streets, smashing Game Boys and mocking the dead, with the whole episode making national news in Japan. To the point that I ended up on Japan's biggest morning news show in the bizarre position of having to defend all foreign YouTubers ever in the world.
No
which was
way.
basically me just sitting on a chair, looking bewildered, going, I'm very angry. I'm very angry indeed. It's a good thing I didn't say, but don't worry, it won't happen again. Especially with a clip of even more streamers in Japan doing the rounds dressed as Mario, harassing women in the street. Now, there is some good news. Just as I was finishing up this video, I did see that the offending video had disappeared, meaning either YouTube took action or he took it down himself. But the damage has already been done. It's already been shared across social media in Japan. People are already kind of pissed off. Japanese rail companies are investigating what happened. And just today, a friend shared with me a photo of his local bar that's just put up a sign banning people from filming, streaming, doing anything inside there. And who can really blame them? Probably a look of things to come. You know, looking at the bigger picture, it's unfortunate. In 10 years living here, 300 videos on the road, I've very rarely faced any difficulties filming in public. The key is to be respectful, don't be noisy, be mindful of the people around you. And much of my success is down to the fact Japan is so tolerant and so generous when it comes to people filming out and about in public. There's nowhere better to do it.
He said it perfectly. Whenever you go to other countries, you need to treat them as they want to be treated. I mean, you should do that everywhere, but you should try to immerse yourself in the culture. Don't try to, if you're coming from the US and you're going to Japan or any other country, you shouldn't try to act like you're at your home territory and bring your problems, your issues, and your assumptions with you. You need to hit the reset button and just be in learning mode and listen and mimic the other people around you.
And I worry if this keeps happening, then the day will arrive where every time I pull out a camera to film, or a foreign tourist is filming something, just making a video, you know, folks will rush over to sort of say, oh, stop filming, don't film here, please, damn it, don't film, because they're so concerned that something bad is going to happen. And it's a sad turn of events to be confronting.
We have that in the US right now. I mean, how many times do you go around and you have your phone up and someone starts getting concerned that they're being filmed? Not that because they're doing something that they shouldn't. It's just the culture that we've developed here, is because there's been so many bad incidences, like what this guy's doing in Japan, running around like a fucking twat. And us in the US, we've had those situations, and now anytime you show up your phone and people think you're recording or taking a picture, they freak out. That's going to happen over in Japan if this keeps up. Especially as it's the 1-year anniversary of Japan reopening. You know, tourist numbers are almost back to where they were since 2019. It'd be a terrible shame if that is overshadowed by foreign influencers running amok, being disrespectful, and taking advantage of Japan and people. And I think the only flip side I can find is by raising awareness of that. I kind of want to encourage you guys, if you're ever out there watching something on YouTube or Twitch or Kick, where douchebag influencers are traveling around Japan doing these sort of things, hold them to account, report them, do what you can. That's the only way they can be stopped when they're deprived of the platforms that they use to output this shitty, awful content. Now, as I said, Japan isn't without its own domestic YouTuber problems. In fact, the country has a word for nuisance YouTubers, meiwakuke. During the pandemic, a YouTuber called Hezumaru was detained for 2 days after a string nuisance YouTubers. That should just be a category on YouTube. Can we make a tag or a hashtag on Twitter? Nuisance YouTuber, Twitch streamer, Kick, whatever the hell it is. People should just start throwing that label on people.
Of questionable activities, including stealing sashimi from a supermarket and laying down a mattress in the middle of Shibuya Crossing. That was never going to end well, let's face it. Then this year, somewhat bizarrely, in the run-up to hosting the G7 summit, the Japan Self-Defense Force ran a series of exercises in anticipation of an attack. In this case, in the event that a YouTuber should try to break into a base belonging to the Japan Self-Defense Force, which they reacted to by swarming the individual and searching their car. And let's face it, it's the one Logan Paul video that we all want to see. That would be one hell of an episode. As for Phineas, let's hope his next video is out soon. Staying in Japan for free, with free meals. Fingers fucking crossed.
Yes. We absolutely need to record these YouTubers and streamers, live stream them while they're in a cell. But man, this video was put together amazing. This reminds me of like the classic cable style videos where you have someone talking, they show some footage, and I love his set design. That's really cool too. Broad in Japan. Okay, I'm gonna definitely sub to that. I'm gonna see if he has any other videos related to any YouTubers or streamers doing stuff like this. He probably does a variety of topics. If his channel is dedicated to Japan, I bet it's like travel and food and stuff like that. Might be something interesting there. I might check out other videos of his. But yeah, be responsible. That is the message this video is trying to convey, and I 100% agree. Don't watch, don't support, don't donate those type of creators.